Hello, everybody. Joe Bag of Donuts here. Welcome back for another episode of Umineko. If I sound a little froggy, that's because I just rolled out of bed because Amazon woke me up in the middle of, well, I was about to say the middle of the night, but it's only 8 p.m. and they dropped off my package at like 7:30, which is kind of late for delivery, but yeah, but I'm on that night shift schedule, so I was fucking ripped from the warm embrace of slumber and fucking had to go answer the door because I'm like, who the fuck is at my door? But no, it was just Amazon. I thought it was something important, but of course it wasn't. And I need to record an episode because the last episode I have in my backlog on YouTube is the episode that just went up before this one. So, fuck. I still have work for 2 more days, and if I don't record anything, then there's going to be a gap. And I didn't record one of the other days I was supposed to, like 2 days ago, because we had a random drug test, of course. So whole squadron wide. So I had to spend my morning sipping water after work at the fucking drug testing facility. And then I came home and didn't want to do anything and went to bed. And when I woke up, it's winter, so I'm getting that seasonal depression pretty hard, and I didn't want to do anything. But what has increased my mood is last night at work, I had to change out a circuit breaker. And the thing with old circuit breakers is that they don't care what happens to them. They're garbage because they're broke, and you can't fix them, which means I got to keep it. And does this actually mean anything? No, but it means I have a new thing that I can just click when I'm playing. Just like in my other hand, kind of below my desk where you can't hear it because the noise suppression will stop it. But because the circuit breaker is broken, it's always in a constant state of trying to pop, even with like no power applied to it. So I can just do this forever and ever with my offhand. So that way you don't have to listen to me fucking tapping my desk with all the other random bullshit I have lying around that shakes the mic stand and vibrates into the microphone. Like, if I bump my mic stand too hard, the springs do this, which is probably really annoying to you guys, and it sounds awful to me. But I'm just trying to warm up, because my brain is deeply in a fog. I have my coffee. What happened last time? Kinzo burst into flames, like in a cool scene, and then Cannon won his one-on-one with Lucifer, but then Beatrice is like, "No, you," and then they died. But they didn't die too bad. Genji's like, "All right, this isn't going anywhere. Let's just fucking move this show on the road." And Beatrice is like, "Oh, you took all the fun out of it." But now we still need two more, and well, will you look at that? We have 2 more servants, and we have one of them right here. Goto was doing the nighttime rounds. There had never been anything on Rokenjima outside the Ushiromiya family, so checking that the doors and windows were all still closed had no real purpose. However, ever since Natsuki had scolded them, saying that this was careless, the nighttime rounds had become part of the servants' daily routine. The reason that Natsuki had ordered this was the occasional disturbances of the witch. Everyone who visited this island knew about the legend of Beatrice, the Witch of the Forest. This had become established as this island's characteristic ghost story. Because of that, it was only natural that some people would occasionally say that when they thought they were alone in the mansion, they had heard strange sounds or even seen the shadow of a person. However, one that had created a little too big of a disturbance and it reached Natsuki's ears, she made a fuss, thinking that some suspicious person might have been coming in and out. Apparently, it was said that she had roused all the servants and had them check throughout the mansion. Because of all this uproar over the witch had happened before Goto had come, he had only heard about it from the more senior servants. Ghost stories like that could be found in any workplace. even at the hotel Goda had once worked at, and at the restaurant. There was never a shortage of those types of stories. So when he heard that story on this island, he smiled bitterly, thinking, so they have that kind of thing here after all. He smiled bitterly, but he thought when in Rome, do as the Romans do, and had not slighted that. Goda went along with it on the outside, but in his heart, he thought it was a childish trick. At first.
これは確かに不気味ですね。なるほど。過去の使用人たちが
Yeah, fucking spooky painting.
たくなる気持ちもわかるものです。
There's like a shortcut behind it once you're like halfway through the game, so that way you can easily return to the mansion lobby. You can understand that if someone, doing the rounds on an eerie night like this, saw a lace curtain waving in the breeze from a window which hadn't been closed, you might be tempted to believe they had seen a ghost.
肖像画の魔女をバカにするとたたりがあるか。大怪我をして辞めた使用人もいるらしいし。怪我は勘弁だな。俺もこの年だ。
Yeah, just fucking, mid-20s sleeping wrong. It's like, oh, there goes my neck for the next, 2 weeks.
二度とこんな厚遇の職場には恵まれねえだろうよ。
It's getting hard to stand up sometimes at work when I'm, squatting down. And then my knees are like, oh!
肖像画の魔女様、真面目に働きますんで、一つ穏便に頼みます。
Goda prayed to the portrait, his hands together, as though he was at a Shinto shrine. At that time, he thought he heard a sound. The kitchen? Was it the sound of something metal falling on the floor? Surely a mouse or a cockroach hadn't come out and knocked over some of the dishes. I've never heard of a cockroach fucking pushing over dishes, but... No, how could that be? It was routinely and thoroughly cleaned. Goda thought that in any case he had better check what that noise had been and entered the kitchen. Beatrice raiding the pantry? He turned on the kitchen light. When he did, he heard a strange sound. Clank, 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 clank. To a cook like Goda, the sound had seemed like the lid of a pressure cooker or something was shaking. Of course, it hadn't been in use when no one was in the kitchen. If someone had been using the gas, what a dangerous thing to do to just walk away from it. Just in case, Goda decided to inspect the area around the gas range. When he did, in the corner by the gas range, the pressure cooker really had been placed there, just as he had thought. But the flame wasn't on. And yet, the lid was still clanking. Was something fermenting and leaking gas? How could that be? Then, was there a mouse or something inside? How could there be? Ridiculous. In front of people, Goda acted as though he had a bold personality fitting for his build, but he actually had an unexpectedly timid side to him. He was terrified to find out what might be inside, and he couldn't check it carelessly. In his cowardice, he grabbed a nearby wooden pestle. Gonna fucking grind some herbs, and with a clunk, he tapped it a little strongly against the side of the pressure cooker. When he did, the clanking sound suddenly stopped. He should have been relieved now that it had stopped, but the fact that it had stopped when he had hit it was even more eerie. It made him even more suspicious about what was inside.
この世に怪奇現象なんて存在しませんとも。そんな魔女も魔法もそんなもの存在するわけがない。すべての現象は科学的に説明できるんです。お化けも魔女もいてたまるもんですか。
Well, one step forward, 2 steps back for your good graces with Beatrice, I guess. You paid some nice respect to the portrait, but, she's not gonna like that. He repeated that many times, trying to build up his own confidence. It was quite comical how he looked completely different from what he was saying.
何が魔女だ。何が魔法だ。たたりだ。 そら、正体を見せてみろ。そら。
Bonk. He removed the lid of the pressure cooker, and lying exposed there was the sparkling clean silver bottom of the pot. There was absolutely nothing frightening like he had imagined.
そりゃ当然です。中に何もいるわけがない。
By now, Goto realized he had been a coward. So while he still had some doubts about what had caused the lid to make that sound, he explained it away abstractly as some quirk of positioning or something, and had decided not to worry about it too much. Then he took the lid he had grabbed and softly set it back down where it had been. That's alright, there won't be a sound. Obviously. As if witches or magic could exist. Clank. Clank, 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 clank. Clank, 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 clank. Clank, 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 clank. Spoopy. All the pots and utensils in the kitchen started clanking at once. And it grew still stronger still, until finally, it had become so strong that the lid of one of the pots fell off. And from inside that pot, a slender white arm slowly stretched out. The lid fell off another pot, and another hand slowly stretched out. Another, and another. Ooh.
魔女なんかいるもんか。信じるもんか。
When the number of arms grew to 7, a loud, shrill laugh split the air. Play the stock sound effect! There we go.
かっこいい。これほどの美味しいお料理を作れる人がこんな小物なんて本当にがっかり。あんたいらないなら私がもらうわ。いっただき。ちょっとダメだってば。私がもらうんだから。
Yeah, less scared, more just confusion. Oh, no, he's just scared. Bonk. Rip Goto. Come on, let's search. There's only one more. That old hag. Where is she? Not the mansion? Maybe the guest house? Hee. You snooze, you lose, right? You snooze, you lose, right? Come on, search, find her. Don't get noticed by the relatives in the dining hall? Don't get noticed by the kids in the guest house? Search in silence, kill in silence. After all, it's still just the first twilight. She isn't in the guest house. But she wasn't in the mansion either? Hey, I found her. She's in the rose garden. Why's she standing out there without an umbrella? She's given herself up. All mine, all mine, all mine! You slowpokes, just sit there and watch. I told you, no, this is mine! Okay. Which one's that? Leviathan? I don't know. Come on, if we take it any longer, we'll be scolded by Beatrice-sama. Let's take care of it all at once. Come on. Found her. Surround her. Come on. Let's get along and do it all at once, okay? Die! Kumasawa, you got some fucking moves? Well, that was unexpected.
やんちゃなお嬢さんたちだこと。あの子のお友達かしら。
何こいつ。ババアのくせに。何かの間違いよ。もう一度。
Alright, going for the more direct approach this time, huh? You just always have a passive barrier up?
こいつどうして私たちを防げるの？
Yes, this is quite unexpected. An interesting development, to say the least. Ugh. There's a hair on the rim of my coffee cup. It's mine, of course, so it's not a big deal. But, ugh.
もう一度よ。
何度やっても無駄だ。この個人できる。
私はあの子を待っているのです。どうか呼んできてはくれませんか？
Well, you got a couple choice words for Beatrice?
そのようなデッチボークを私たちがすると思う？
その必要はない。
Hey, Beatrice.
ベアトリーチェ様。
私が権限するほどでございます。必ずやお目覚めと思いました。
ローノウェイ、久しぶりですね。
Hey, Kumasawa, are you like a fucking sleeper agent? Like, what?
ええ、本当に久しぶりです。
こいつロノウェ様を呼びつけに。
Well, they appear to be
そし
acquainted.
てあなたもお久しぶりですね、ベアトリーチェ。
こいつベアトリーチェ様までも呼びつけに。
She has been around for a while.
よい。そのお方をどなたと心得るか。ベアトリーチェとは、そもそもそのお方の名。わらわはそれを受け継いだに過ぎぬ。そのお方こそは、わら
Oh,
わの師匠。
I did not expect this.
先代ベアトリーチェ教だ。
先代ベアトリーチェ教。
Damn, Kumasawa, if that was you in the beginning, you used to be a baddie. Gold butterflies appeared in ones and twos from the Garden of Roses and began to gather around Kumasawa. And after becoming a golden radiance and enveloping her, they burst and disappeared, and Kumasawa's form was no longer there. Hey! Instead, there was another golden witch, the one who had, in the past, explained to Beatrice the path of an endless witch. The only person Beatrice had called master in her entire life. Her hair was long and beautiful, and vividly youthful. And her figure, that elegant dress, was unrecognizable as an old lady. No, this looked like a completely different person than Kumasawa.
これはお師匠様。再びお会いできる日が訪れるとは夢にも思いませんでした。
It's a small world.
ええ、私もですよ。ようやまた眠りを妨げられるとは夢にも思いませんでした。まったく厄介なところでお目覚めになられる。
Yeah, it's a little unexpected. I'm still wrapping my head around it.
いつもの通りお休みであられたなら、第一の晩を何も手こずることなく終えられるのに。いや、むしろ歓迎すべきですかな。
Yeah, you here to join the festivities, so to say?
少々退屈しておりましたところで。相変わらず悪趣味な遊びで罪もない人々をもてあそんでいるようですね。無限の魔女の力は決して人に迷惑をかけることに使ってはならないと何度も教えたはずですよ。
Yeah, well.
そう言うなよ、お師匠様。退屈は私たちの天
Yeah,
敵
but
じ
that's
ゃあ
not
り
an
ません
excuse to fuck with people just for no reason.
それから逃れるためのちょっとしたスパイスに過ぎませんよ。侵食が進めば進むほどにわらわの力は強くなり、わらわの眷属は呼び出しやすくなる。しかしそれは同時に
Seems to be a snowballing effect as the episodes go on to the power of the wacky shit.
それ
That's
を
gonna be
予見してい
happening.
たからこそ私はこうしてあなたのすぐ近くで眠りについたのですよ。願わくば二度と起こされぬことを夢見ながら
Damn, just like me.
こうしてあなたと再会してしまった
Just
の
sleep the
は
depression
私
away.
にとってはとても悲しいことです。
相変わらずおし
炉の上、家具の子たちを下げなさい。家具は主に仕えるだけです。すべての罪は主が背負います。
Well, you gonna put her in her place?
かしこまりました。マダム・ベアトリーチェ。
その名はもうその子に譲りました。
So, well, what are we gonna call you,
さ
huh?
あ、下がりなさい。家具の娘たち。私は一度聞かぬとしても二度言います。しかし、三度目は口にしませんよ。
Yeah, that ain't gonna fucking catch some hands.
下がりなさい。煉獄の七姉妹。巻き添いになれば塵と化しますよ。
下がれみんな。
Reneve and the Seven Sisters of Purgatory retreated. After that, there was the Beatrice whose bold expression didn't falter, and the mastered Beatrice who had given up that name and wore a composed smile.
さてお師匠様、久しぶりの再会にはどんなお茶のご用意が良いかな。
そうですね。ほうき星の訪れよりも久しい再会です。もてなしてもらいましょうか。粗相があるようならば我が名と無限の魔女の称号返してもらいますよ。
無限の魔女にも免許更新制度があった
I mean,
とは
yeah, you still need to,
な。
like, fucking pay taxes on the renewal, you know? Don't fuck with the IRS.
仰せの
I don't
魔
care
法
if you're a fucking endless
お師匠
witch and do
様。
magic, that, you know, they're gonna get their money.
あなたの弟子がどれほど立派になったか、そしてとっくの昔にどれほどあなたを凌駕したか。
You're really inflating yourself here, Beatrice, you know. This hasn't always gone well for you in the past. Looked like sparks exploded in the air between the two Beatrices. Just by glaring at each other, they purged all spirits from that space. As they watched, the Seven Sisters shivered. Because if they had retreated just 3 steps less than they had, they would already have been turned to dust by now.
さあ、いらっしゃい。ベアトリーチェ、あなたにその名を譲ったことが私の生涯でただ一度の後悔です。その過ちを今自らの手で修正
you
しましょ
came
う。
out just a little bit twisted.
そりゃあ違うぜ、お師匠様。わらわのただ一度の過ちはこの程度の力を学ぶのにあんたに弟子入りしちまったことだぜ。何が無限の魔女だ。こんなの気づくだけの力じゃねえかよ。それをもったいぶって偉そうによ。
Well, you wouldn't have been able to, you know, look behind the curtain without her, so.
お前の出番はとっくに終わってんだよ、お師匠様よ。
Fight, fight, fight. Red shoes fake? Faker? Not bothered in the slightest. Same, bud. This all of a sudden became a fucking witch battle?
一体目の前で何が起こってんだ。
かわいそう。 私の弟子が迷惑を
Oh,
かけていま
hey,
す。
hey, Beatrice, you want to help us out? Beatrice is being kind of a
謝
bitch.
ります。
あんた何者なんだ。熊沢のばあちゃんがどうしてこんな姉ちゃんに化けるんだ。
Oh my, what a flatterer you are.
わけがわからねえ。これは何の特撮なんだ。俺は頭がどうにかなっちまいそうだ。
私はあの子の魔女の師匠です。
I think your apprentice could have used a little more time in the oven, you know, before you threw her out into the world all on her
か
own.
つての名はベアトリーチェ。あの子が私を継ぐときにその名を送ったため、今は名を持ちません。
あんたがすでに言い切っちまってるが、俺はあんたの弟子のせいで大い
Yeah,
に迷惑
she's
してい
kind
る
of
ぜ
a bitch.
頼むから責任取って何とかしてくれ。じゃなくて俺はこんなの信じね
Yeah,
えぞ。
witches aren't real though.
魔女も魔法もあるもんか。こんなめちゃくちゃバトル俺は認めねえぞ。くそったな。俺は何を信じりゃいいんだ。
あなたらしいとても短気なもてなしですね。
さすがお師匠様。この程度じゃバカバカしくてまぶたを開く気にもならないらしい。島ごとぶっ壊す気でなきゃ無
Look,
理らしい
she's
ぜ。
just trying to go back to sleep and you're bothering her, alright?
さあさあおいでなさい。双剣の戦闘。
The siren started again. Oh, but it doesn't sound that loud for once. I don't have to pick a mic, hold on. I'm getting a little waveform, but it might not be audible, especially with me talking and the music going. In response to Beatrice's summons, a terrific earth tremor split the rose garden. And on either side of her shoulders, two massive war towers spouted out and stabbed into the heavens. They stretched 100 burite tall, and each had over 360 ports. What is a murite? Grimoire, please. Murite. This word is probably related to the fictional unit of length from Nausicaa, the Valley of the Wind, which seems to be about 1 meter long. Just threw that in there. Okay. They were war towers of the gods' army corps, which had not allowed the heroes of antiquity to invade their precincts, even as they banded together. As Beatrice elegantly floated in the gap between the between the massive two-headed towers, she looked down on her master, sneering with an absolute superiority. With the two massive towers lined up behind her shoulders, the witch looked very small, like a butterfly dancing between large trees.
蝶に化ければ買わせるとか思うなよ。双子塔の弾幕密度じゃあんた虫ピンの昆虫標本どころかめった刺しの針刺し人形だぜ。
The towers, more than 720 ports opened, and godly soldiers readied their multi-shot ballistas.
それであなたの手番は終了ですか？
それが遺言かよ。ぶっ放せ。
You seem pretty confident in this, Beatrice. Oh, that was loud. Ballista shot numbering easily over 1,000 were fired all at once, drawing a beautiful geometric curtain of death. The boorish sound performed by those bowstrings was probably even deeper than the sound of death swinging his scythe.
さあさあおいでなさい。墜落せし塔よ。いちなる言語をはぜ、その罪を知らしめよ。
Oh, Tower of Babel. Cool. sky was stained in incandescent red, and from between the clouds, a blazing massive tower fell upside down. That massive falling tower and its rubble swallowed the thousands of ballista shots so that not one could approach the body of the witch who had summoned it. Yes, none can approach the mysteries of heaven. That is the truth of the fallen tower.
さすがお師匠様。いちいちやることがでけえや。
私の手番は終わりませんよ。さあさあおいでなさい。
I play Pot of Greed!
息子たち。
Allows me to draw 3 cards? Fuck. I haven't played Yu-Gi-Oh! Since like 2006. I think Pot of Greed lets you draw 6. I mean, no, not 6. 3 cards? It might be 2. I don't know.
我にふさわしき槍を与えたまえ。
Oh, okay. Just light it on fire, huh? As the massive crimson tower that had fallen made a mighty gold-colored explosion from inside those flames, a spear showed itself, of such massive proportions that you had to look up to see all of it, much like a tower. It was too large for even a giant's hand. It was a divinely beautiful spear of the gods, so massive that it gave the illusion that the tower which had fallen had turned into a spear the same size. A spear of certain victory that no one could escape.
無用の双子塔ですね。自ら左右の太陽を
What is it,
立
like
つとは
fucking
愚かしい。
Gungnir?
一本の槍をもお前は防げない。
She snapped her fingers in command. The massive tower-like spear shot at Beatrice like a lightning bolt. As the gold witch danced in the gap between the towers like a butterfly, it sliced straight through the air like a flash of lightning, aiming right for the very middle of the absolute center of her heart, with the most ultimate and extreme precision.
こんなところで
Hey, I was right.
ミルが弾けるとは。やっぱりお師匠様はすげえな。ハゼロ、役立たずの塔、いでよ、巨人兵の戦列よ。その盾と胸で神なる槍を防ぎきれ。
Alright, this is just like a playground fight. No, I had a force field. You didn't hit me. You couldn't. No. The shoulder war towers exploded in gold. They became several billion gold butterflies. Those butterflies took the shape of 7 massive armed soldiers. Each stretched a full 50 murite into the sky. And they lined up in front of Beatrice, protecting their master and holding massive shields that towered like windmills. I summoned Don Quixote to fucking tilt at your windmill. Their massive size was evocative of a mountain range. The witch hiding behind them was like a small moon hiding behind the mountains. Once in the past, when the massive shields those giants held had readied the whole giant's regiment, they had protected King Wilhelm's castle not only from arrows, but from the wind and rain. And when they had faced upwards and held their shields to the heavens, not a single raindrop had gotten through.
愚かな。神聖への敬いを忘れた魔女の哀れなことです。神の槍を巨人ごときで防げるとお思いですか？
If we're going by like compatibility, the fact that, you know, the Aesir, you know, fucking stomped all over the giants,
道理ですね。人間の金属でいくら武装しようとも神の槍は防げません。マダムの見事なエポレットメイトです。
そんな、ベアトリーチェ様。
yeah, it seems like a bad matchup.
もちろん忘れませんともお師匠様。さあさあおいでなさい。
Oh,
ヘ
Hephaestus.
パイストスと弟子たち。我にふさわしき盾を与えたまえ。
A golden whirlwind arose at the feet of these giant soldiers. It was a group of countless butterflies. They attached themselves to the massive shields like gold leaf, sparkling like they were a gold mirror. This was the absolute defense that the king of the gods gave to the goddess, the Aegis shield. Yeah, it seems like Zeus's shield would be a decent, counter to Gungnir, I guess. When the Holy Spear, which left a dignified tail behind it like a comet, crashed into the mountain range of that gold shield, there was a terrible thunderous roar. It was the creaking of the pillars that held up the heavens. Sounds like my back. The divine spear spun around and around, sent flying in the direction the sun sets.
ありえない。真相を防いだ。
いいえ、違います。神なる槍が避けたんです。絶対の槍と絶対の盾は争ってはいけないのが神なるの掟。それはつまり
No, can't confirm either way, if one's better than the other. Now that ruins the mysticism, which means they lose power after, and you can't have that.
このような
It's like magnets.
荒々たかし腕を上げ
No one knows how they work, they just push each other away.
むしろお師匠様はこういうお遊びが相変わらず苦手なようで、わらわからのお返しだ。法典にのっとり、槍には槍でお返ししましょうぞ。
Alright, what spear are you gonna pull? The giant soldier battle line, which had fully blocked the divine spear, released their holy gold shields. Shields fell to the earth, making the ground shake. And then another gold whirlwind arose, and the 7 gold shields changed their form into 7 massive spears of lightning lying on the ground. In unison, each of the giants lifted a leg high and firmly stomped on the tips of the handles. Cool. As the earth shook with a thunderous sound, the 7 lightning spears spun beautifully and flew up into the giant soldier's hands. They covered everywhere in a spray of gold as they began to fall before the giants. Each of the giants squared off, and with the force of their whole body, they kicked and smashed them into pieces. Those broken pieces numbered exactly 30 each, and became lightning spears of exactly the same size as the original, which made 210 for all 7 of them. Then all those burst at once, each splitting into 30 thorns, so that there was 6,300. They became a thundercloud barrage, drawing out a beautiful geometric pattern. And each of those changed into the 3 bolts of lightning, so that 18,900 thunderbolts shot at the predecessor Beatrice. Don't ask me to do square numbers. I can't.
さすがやりますね。マダムは。
Yeah, obviously. Certainly, a bundle of almost 20,000 thunderbolts should have reduced the master's body to dust. But there was no impact. Beatrice knew immediately that she had been fooled. At that moment, from the direction the sun was supposed to set, she felt an impossible ray of sunlight. A brilliant ray of light shone on her profile. It was the figure of the master, holding aloft the spear of the gods that had supposedly been repelled a short while ago. Yeah, it just went away, it wasn't destroyed. She bore a brilliant radiance like the sun on her back, and made it shine like the incarnation of darkness. Shine on the incarnation of darkness. Beatrice, watching from there, was trapped like a mouse in a cage, cornered in a dead end formed by the giant soldier's battle line. By now, the predecessor Beatrice had seized a position directly alongside the giant soldier battle line.
これでお遊戯の時間はおしまいですよ。
Oh, sorry, didn't mean to cut you off, Beatrice.
わらわが側面を許しただと。
Her bold expression hadn't faltered once before now, but now it twisted for the first time. And faster than Beatrice could click her tongue, the predecessor Beatrice released the holy spear. In midair, it spun up into the air once more and changed its form once again.
さあさあおいでなさいドベルグの兄弟たち我に巨人を砕きし天の鉄槌を与えたまえ巨人兵どもわらわを守れ何をしているかノロマども
By now, it was no longer a spear, but a whirlwind of a massive hammer that sounded like a windstorm as it flew through the air. What, we got Mjolnir now? It was a legendary hammer that had shaken the king of the frost giants. Hey, look at me, I've been knocking him out of the park. So the giant soldiers couldn't escape from that fear. So no matter how much their master ordered them, they couldn't block the path of that hammer.
バックランクメイト安らかに眠りなさいくそー
I'm unfamiliar with that chest turn. Before the whirlwind of this massive clunk of metal, Beatrice was nothing more than a mere speck. The instant the whirlwind started to suck Beatrice in, Beatrice's form turned into a massive war tower. The iron hammer smashed the war tower, scattering tremendous amounts of rubble, but it did not reach she who escaped behind it. Furthermore, when the smoke started to settle, the war tower had sucked in the massive iron hammer without crumbling and blocked the way. Even the giant smashing iron hammer couldn't break through the final tower protecting the witch. However, this war tower was in fact the witch's last trump card. It was a war tower for dodging that could only save her from danger once. But this tower was impregnable. No weapon could break through it. Just then, the moon disappeared. As Beatrice hid in the shadows of the giant soldiers' battle line and the war tower, she looked up at the sky. Oh no, it's Odin! Get the raid group! Odin call out, get the rare drops. When she did, inside the massive moon was a figure of a massive horse ridden by a god of war and death. The predecessor Beatrice rode the horse with him. His cloak had blocked the moon and swallowed it in an eerie shadow. And the spear of the gods was held in his hand once more. It was, in other words, a godly knight who had jumped over the ramparts formed by the giant soldiers and the war tower, attacking from the heavens. What was that, shorthand, mate? I couldn't read the first half, like, completely. Oh god, my nose is stuffy. Smothered mate. The struggle to the death between the two witches with the same name was resolved. The spear that had been launched from the heavens pierced the ground. The giant soldier battle line and war tower split up into countless gold butterflies, surrounding the area in a golden storm. Then, the sound of thunder. Alright, are we out of the fight dimension? And the sound of the falling rain and wind. Suddenly, the place was the empty rose garden once more. The butler and the rest were watching the two witches confronting each other. But only Beatrice was different. She had been pierced straight through by the spear, from the base of her neck and her right shoulder to her left buttock. Unable to even reach the ground with her feet. Horribly exposed like a pitiful pinned butterfly, tormented by the wind and rain. Ah, she's fine, it'll buff.
さすが恐ろしいお方です。
これで決着です、ベアトリーチェ。
You learned your lesson? No. Yeah, that sounds like it would hurt. Beatrice wore a bitter smile of false courage, but a strand of blood dangled from her mouth, making her look even more pitiful.
無限の魔女の称号と力、そしてベアトリーチェの名を今こそ返してもらいましょう。無限の魔女を語るにはお前は未熟が過ぎ
Well,
ます。
clearly.
やめて、許しておくれよ。
Oh, stop! You're embarrassing me in front of the other witches!
ちょっとふざけただけじゃねえかよ。
あなたから我が名を奪います。元の姿に戻してあげましょう。
Uh-oh.
過ぎたる力を手放し、己にふさわしい生を全うするがよいでしょう。さあさあ、思い出してごら
Yep,
んなさい。
return to your original
あ
form.
なたがどんな姿をしていたのか。
The predecessor Beatrice began to recite the words of power. When she did, small gold butterflies gathered around the skewered Beatrice and began to swarm about her. Like butterflies sucking the nectar out of flowers, they began to suck the magical power out of Beatrice. And it seemed that it caused her intense pain. A cry of agony escaped from Beatrice's mouth. She no longer had any power to resist it.
さあさあ、目を閉じてごらんなさい。思い出してごらんなさい。あなたがどんな姿をしていたのか。さあ、ベアトリーチェ、あなたも私と一緒に復唱なさい。一緒にお歌を歌いましょう。そうす
Yeah,
る
for old time's sakes.
すぐに終わりますよ。あなたの苦痛が少しでも早く終わります。
そうだな。お師匠様と一緒にお歌を歌うなんて。
Yeah, let's take a break from being a big evil fucking witch bitch, huh?
さあ、一緒に。さあさあ、思い出してごらんなさい。あなたがどんな姿をしていたのか。
さあさあ、思い出してごらんなさい。あなたがどんな姿をしていたのか。
Then the two of them began to recite the same chant. More and more gold butterflies danced around, swarming around Beatrice.
大丈夫ですよ、お嬢様。あなたは私の弟子であることを失いますが、私の仕えるお嬢様であることに変わりはありません。そうしたらまた一緒にご本を読んで差し上げましょう。リンゴのパイを焼いて差し上げましょう。
Oh, my alarm went off. Hush.
昔のように。
Apple pies. I could go for an apple pie.
さあさあ、思い出してごらんなさい。
What I really need to do is make like my spiced, like infused, like apple vodka again. That was real good.
思い出してごらんなさい。
What you do is like you take like a bottle of vodka and like pour it out into a jar, and then add like apple slices and like maybe a peach and like a few sticks of cinnamon, and just leave it in there for like a month. You know, shaking it occasionally. Then you strain it out, and then boom, you got some nice cinnamon apple vodka. It's like drinking a fucking apple crumble.
なあ、お師匠様。
Yeah, are you gonna spin this around on her and fucking turn her back into Kumasawa?
あんたの後ろにあるそれ、思い出したかな？
何ですか？これは。
When the predecessor Beatrice looked behind her, there was a creepy hedgehog crouching there. Sanic? No. It was herself. There was another predecessor Beatrice, whose whole body was packed with ballista shots, lying there like a pincushion doll.
さあさあ、思い出してごらんなさい。あなたがどんな姿をしていたのか。違うか。さあさあ、思い出してごらんなさい。 あなたがどうやって殺されたのか。
Predecessor Beatrice was shocked. Instantly, her form began to grow faint. What, did you actually get her in the first barrage and this has all just been an illusion? Ooh.
最初に呼んだのは双剣の塔ではない。四つ子の塔だったのよ。お師匠様の左右はるかに潜んだ隠し塔が描くセブンスランクルークの死の境界線を、お師匠様はのこのこと踏み越えてきてくれた。チェックの発生が遅れてしまったことだけはマナー違反。率直に謝ろうぞ。
Yeah, I was about to say, you know, it couldn't have gone this well, you know, for everyone except Beatrice. It's a little tricky when there's two Beatrices here, but you know what I meant. The battle had been decided at the very beginning. It had been over since the time the predecessor had leaned forward, readying her holy spear to attack Beatrice, who had been wedged between her shoulder towers. The hidden towers lurking on either side had bathed her in a windstorm of ballista shots from 720 ports on both sides, pinning and killing her. However, Beatrice hadn't wanted it to be resolved with that. She had wanted to make her master take her next move, and had continued acting as though the game was still on. She had immediately revived her with the endless power, and had made her continue the game as though nothing had happened. Then, the predecessor slowly remembered that she had already been killed, and began to completely erase her form. When she did, the spear which had pierced Beatrice also erased itself. Beatrice finally fell and landed on her feet. There wasn't even a trace of a scar.
楽しかったぞ、お師匠様。また遊びたくなったらいつでも蘇らせて
Man,
や
talk
る
about
よ。
playing dirty.
それで適当に遊んだら死体だったことをまた思い出させてやるからさ。なあ、ちゃんとあんたの言いつけは守ってるぜ。おもちゃは遊び終わったらちゃんとおもちゃ箱にしまいましょうってな。
Oh, Beatrice.
楽勝でございますかな。
愚か、心象だ。四つ子島で騙せてなかったら死んでおったのはわらわの方
Yeah,
よ。
all or nothing.
さすが
Just won the coin
お師匠
flip.
様だがこれで胸が張れるというもの。わらわは
You
今
are truly the
お師匠
endless
様を
witch
完全に超え
Beatrice.
たとな。ロノウェ、お師匠様の亡骸をもう少しマシにしておけ。
What, like clean him up a bit?
わらわもそこまで敬意を失ってはおらぬでな。
かしこまりました。今宵の第一の晩は
Yeah,
少々派手に暴れすぎました。
yeah, a bit more, you know, rambunctious than the first two, you know, where people just
少
kind
しは
of
片付けも
die.
必要でしょう。すぐに取り掛かります。ヤギたちよ、お片付けの時間ですよ。
When Renove snapped his fingers, blazing, sparkling eyes began to blink open in the shadows and darkness, becoming goat-head attendants, which appeared one after another, slowly out of the black. One by one, they lined up behind Renove's back, wordlessly standing at attention.
この度は6人の遺体をどのように
Yeah, how are you
いたし
gonna
ます
position them this time?
また密室形式に。
わらわは今それを考える気分に。
Yeah, it's up to
ど
you.
の上に任せ。バトラーを悩ませるようなとびっきりの密室を頼むぞ。
The old tried and true.
かしこまりました。それではとびきりの。
And of course, we won't get to see the setup.
それ、バトラーはどこだ？
He's busy sitting in the corner with his head in his hands, just going, "Ah!"
バトラー、わらわの大活躍見た？
くしょー、今のめちゃくちゃな魔法の嵐を見せつけられて、俺は何を否定すればいいんだ。魔女はいるも何も。
No.
あんなドッカンドッカン凄まじいファンタジーを見せつけられて、今の俺は何を否定すりゃいいんだよ。もうわかんねえ。前回もそうだが、このイーカス的なマジカルバトルをどう否定すりゃいいんだよ。
Yeah, it was kind of cool.
だよな。こんなの見ちまったらもう言い逃れはできねえもんな。さあバトラー、とんでも推理を聞かせてくれよ。
Just say they've just been constantly microdosing you with fucking LSD and shrooms. This is all just one big hallucination.
お嬢様、笑いに品がございませんよ。
Undignified, read as really annoying.
おお、これはすまぬ。しかしわらわの責任ではないぞ。何しろバトラにキューッと両目を固く閉じてキリキリギリギリ歯ぎしりするなんとも悔しそうなその表情を見せられると、
Oh, it just tickles your pink.
自然とわらわの口からこぼれてしまうものでな。
さあバトラ様、くじけずにテーブルへお戻りを。
Yep, up and at him.
お嬢様はバトラ様の反撃を期待されておりますよ。
Be a dear and get us some cookies to help us think run away.
ふざけるな。何をどう反論すりゃいいってんだ。まずあの塔が地面から生えてきたあたりからもうめちゃくちゃだろうが。
Yeah,
実は
it got kind of a little
六軒
wacky
島の
there.
地下に合体変形巨大ロボの秘密研究所でもあって、ボタン一つでおかしな塔が生えてくるってのか。なあ、それならあのでけえ巨人どもはきっとロボットだぜ。
Yep.
あるいは悪の秘密結社のメカ怪獣かもな。
Yeah, I can see yeah, I can see Genzo being a member of an evil organization.
わけわかんねえよ。俺に話しかけるんじゃねえ。
Some fucking Sentai villain.
うわー。
ほらほらほらほらな。
Hey, giving her what she wants, bud.
魔法でドッカンドッカン。そなたが望むなら月だって砕くし、水星を雨のようにだって降らすさ。お前好みのムチムチ姉ちゃんで島を埋め尽くしてやってもいいんだぜ。
Hey, the second one was not bad.
さあさあ、ほらほらほら、わらわの出番は終わったぜ。受け手をさせよ、反撃しろよ。できねえだろ。できねえのは船長も承知よ。
Yeah, it's gonna be a tricky it's tricky to respond to that move, huh?
こういうファンタジー本当は大好きなんだもんな。知ってん
Yeah,
だ
it
よ。
was kind of cool.
今時こんなの巷にいくらでも溢れてるじゃねえか。漫画に小説、アニメに映画。10代くらいのガキンチョたちがおかしな特殊能力いっぱい持ってて、
Yep.
世界の命運かけてドッカンバッカンやるやつ。
I do have a soft spot for some trashy light novels.
お前も大好きだもんな。知ってんだよ。隠すのよ。大好きじゃねえかよ。
Just because it's really fucking cool doesn't mean it should exist in the real world.
そのお前の大好きなやつがちょいと目の前で披露されただけじゃねえかよ。どうして漫画やアニメのそれは信じてくれるのに、わらわのだけ信じてくれねえんだよ。
Because fiction should stay fiction, Beatrice.
信じろよ、信じちまえよ。
I'm out of coffee. I only have like one sip left.
反論なんかできねえさ。こうして見せられちまったんだからな。ほらほらほらほら、返事をしろよ。思考はいらねえ。素直にごめんなさいベアトリーチェ様って言えばいいんだよ。ほらほら言ってみろ。ごめんなさいベアトリーチェ様って言ってみろよ。
Nah, I think we're good.
いえよ恥ずかしがるなよ
Can we have the other Beatrice back? Like, at least, like, if she was mean, it would be like a mommy-dommy thing, but, you know, you're just kind of, like, bitch-dom? Like, that don't do it for me. No, but only if predecessor Beatrice is in her witch form. I don't need Dami Mami Kumasawa, please. No, thank you. Though I will have some mackerel. Well, I don't have any mackerel in the cupboard, but I do have some canned herring, which I am gonna go have because it's time to end the episode. A little short one, but honestly, good for tonight. That's a little short one because I still have to get ready for work and eat, and ready myself mentally to go spend the next 12 hours hating my life, which, I mean, I was going to do anyway at home, but, you know, at least I would be in the comfort of my own home. Now I have to do it around other people, who also are all hating their lives. So with that, that is where we are going to end it here for today. Once again, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell. See you all next time for the next episode of Umineko. I almost said Muv Love Total Eclipse. I haven't fucking recorded that in months. See you guys then, where we will find the bodies. And find out what locked room mystery Beatrice, well, I guess Ronove, planned out for us this time. Catch you guys all then. Later. Bye. Mwah.